Welcome back to Clunking Garage, everyone. So, how do you know that you need new ball joints? Well, you're not supposed to be able to do that, for one, nor are you supposed to be able to spin that freely. Let me show you what a good one looks like. Pull that out of my ass real quick. There we go. It's a brand new Moog part. Pretty stiff. I mean, you can move it if you want, but it takes some effort. There is a much tighter tolerance because the actual ball in there, let me get you one real quick. The actual ball, as you can see, wears over time. That one's really bad. So what this does when it wears down like that, and that ball starts to get real loose in there, you'll have some uneven wear on your tires. Your driving might sway a little bit, even though your steering wheel is straight, which is what I'm experiencing. And you might have some clunking around when you go around turns or accelerate or put on your brakes or go over bumps. And I'll shake the wheel here in a second, but I'll show you another way you can test it by jacking up your truck and shaking the wheel. You can feel it and see it banging around, and you can hear it. And you can imagine if it's that loud while I'm just shaking it with my hands, how loud is it when you're driving down the street? So we're going to be doing upper and lower ball joints today. Welcome to Clunking Garage. Before we get into that, word from our sponsors, Clunking Garage. So this is an LB7 Duramax hat, comes in different flavors. Got a Koosh shirt, it's made for the husky guys. Got a belly, but you got a bit of arms and shoulders too. Made out of very soft cotton. If you are a fan of the classic tees, these fit way better. The classic tees look like little kid shirts. I'd be no bueno, but these fit nice. All right. Okay, actually now that I'm looking at it and hearing the clunking is actually coming from these blown bushings. But down here, you can see it flexing too. Let's see if I can get a good angle here. I don't know if you can even see that, but I know those are just as floppy as the ones that I showed you. And that is, that's great. It's a good time just to get a brand new control arm that's not all rusted out, and it'll usually come with a ball joint. Actually, I think all of them come with a ball joint that's already pressed in, so you don't have to monkey around with that too much. Alright, first thing we want to do is chalk those tires, jack up your truck, use the stand as well, of course. Make sure the stand is nice and solid because we are going to remove this jack to help us raise the lower control arm when we're trying to thread the upper control arm. If you got an impact, you know, you can raise everything up and your tire can be spinning. You can still take off the tires. If you're using like a star or you're using a hand ratchet, go ahead and loosen up your lugs before you lift the truck, otherwise your tires are just going to spin. Order things are, since this is a dually, I have a adapter here, so I'm going to remove these adapters. I think they're like 19 millimeter. And then I am going to remove the brake caliper, get that out of the way, and then we're going to pop your ABS sensor out of the way so we can get to that 10 millimeter bolt, and then we can pull the whole brake away from the control arm, and then we will remove the rotor. That should just pull right off, which will give us access to the Allen wrench or the Allen bolt or screw that mounts the ABS sensor to the hub, and that is a 5.5 millimeter, can't remember, it's one of those two. And we'll back that out, get the sensor out of the way, and then we will just have the hub, and then I'll show you how to separate the ball joints. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So adapter, brakes, we'll get this out of the way, and let's go. Okay, we got the adapter off. The adapters are actually 21s, not 19s. So we're going to remove the brake caliper. We have two bolts here, one on top, one on bottom. They are 21 millimeter. There's my friend the breaker bar. Okay, so that we can kind of move our hub around a little bit, we're going to go ahead and knock this tie rod out of the way, since we got to do that anyways. Make sure to hold on to the clip. Also a 21. See if we can just tap this out here. Okay. Okay, now we should be able to get to that. Oh, he's in there. Get that in there real loose here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and maneuver this guy out of the way. I was barely in there. This is a 10 millimeter, so we'll go ahead and zip that out, and that'll free up the whole brake so we can move it over here somewhere and tie it off. Okay, that's free. ABS is in our way here, so I'm gonna temporarily tie off the caliper somewhere over here until I remove the rotor. And once the rotor's out of the way, I can get this line out of the way, and then I can move this caliper to this side. Take that out of the way. I want to blow all the dust and shit out of there so you don't get that in your wheel bearing. A little fun tip: after you remove this, you can shove some or squirt some grease down in there and lube up your bearing. The other side was stripped, so I had to use a 5.5. This one might actually take the 5. Well, we can make that work. Pretty rusty. There we go. And that is free. I like to take some cloth and plug that hole so we don't get dirt in there for the time being. We're ready to service it. Okay, with this out of the way, we can go ahead and tie off the caliper. All right, so we are ready to start separating the hub. The hub's held together by the CV axle upper and lower ball joint now, since we already removed the tie rod. So we're going to start with the CV axle nut here. It's a 36 millimeter. Make sure that's free. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and pull this cotter pin and clean it up a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna work on that. Okay, got that off. Pain in the ass. Had to break the cotter pin. Good thing the new ball joints come with the new one. So I suspect this is gonna fight me as well. This is an 18 mil. I'm just, that just not fight me and just come off. Okay, battery died, but hopefully you're still seeing that. Seeing how easy it broke loose. It's using this flare wrench because it was a really nice bite on it. Where's my... Come on, baby. Actually, we want to leave that on a few threads. Okay. That doesn't, it's not a castle nut on this one. I don't know if that's usual or not. It's a 24. The ball. No, it's coming up. Maybe. Yeah, it's coming up. Now we got a couple places we can tap right on the knuckle, and maybe it'll all fall out, maybe it won't, maybe we need to use a pickle fork. Let's just find out. Alright, got a little separator on there. Let's see if this does anything. There she goes. Nice little handy tool set. I'll put the link in the description. Comes with a bunch of things. It even comes with a ball joint separator, but it's for a really small vehicle, so it doesn't fit these bigger GMCs. Okay, now we can back the nut off the rest of the way and separate it. Looks like it's getting hung up on the bottom few threads, and now it's just spinning the whole ball. Okay. Okay, bottom nut removed, axle, CV axle nut removed. Just got to finish this guy off here, and maybe give this another little love tap. Let's see if it pulls free. Damn. And it's out. Now get this guy out of the way. Put that up there. Okay. Sweet. Show you how bad these are. Just kind of flopping in there. Top one. Just kind of flopping in there. Okay, for this top guy here, we got a snapper and we gotta remove if we can. Yeah. Snappery. Alright, I got one of these ball joint press setups. I'll go ahead and put it together and show you how it works. We'll go ahead and press out the top and the lower ball joint. Okay, so hopefully that's enough. If not, we can throw a little spacer in there to help pop that out. Okay, top ball joints out. I want to show you real quick, I tightened up these camber bolts a bit so it's not flopping around anymore. Also, it's not knocking around anymore. So, I mean, the bushings don't look like they're dry rotted. They're only 6 years old. I think the bolts just backed off a little bit, so all the overland and off-road and stuff must have did something to it over time, but it's tightened back up, not knocking around. Awesome. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Let's go ahead and press out this bottom joint. Okay, so normally I'd use this guy under here, but for whatever reason, these ball joints are friggin' gargantuan, whereas the Moog ball joint fits right in there. So if you're rocking the Moog, that's the one you want. I have no clue what's in there right now, but it's huge. So we'll figure something out with our kit. Okay, that's what we got. Little bottom piece, big fatty round piece, and then part on top. Use this 22mm. I can't get my impact wrench in there, so we'll just use this. Come on. Alright, we're installing these. We have our little cotter pin keeper thing. I like to make them go front to back of the vehicle so that we can get the cotter pin in and out. Easy enough. There we go. That seems a little loose in there. Okay, looked like it was in there kind of loose, but I put a micrometer on it and all the other ball joints. They're all the same size, so let's see what happens after we press it in all the way. Okay, well, pressed in. It's definitely in there now. Okay, let's go. There she is. Okay. Alright, when we install this bottom lower ball joint, we want the Zerk fitting to be fitting on this little groove here, and I think I'm actually going to grab my grinder and grind this down a little bit. So I always have a difficult time getting my grease gun in there. It has a little lip, a little divot right there, but then it goes right back up and it's the same size as everywhere else, so it doesn't really help. But you want to put it in so that the Zerk fitting is fitting over this. So I'm going to go ahead and grind that real quick. ball joint is nice and flush. I am down a grease zerk. Forgot that I robbed a grease zerk for myself so I can put it on another truck. So I gotta go find one of those. But otherwise, those ball joints are in. Take a look here. Got our upper, nice and pressed in. Got the lower. So now all we gotta do is find us a grease zerk. Okay, time to start putting things back together here. That's the fun part. So we'll just get that in there first. Okay, got it mostly assembled now. Got some torque specs for you. This lower castle nut, your lower ball joint gets torqued to 74 foot-pounds. Upper gets torqued to 37. Your tie rod gets torqued to 48. Axle nut gets torqued to 177, I think is what I wrote. And then when we put the lugs on, they'll get torqued to 140. Go ahead and start with the bottom one here. Alright, that's really the magic. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of this together. Probably do a time lapse for that because there's nothing magical after this. It's just a reassembly. One last tip when you're putting in your cotter pin, if it doesn't quite fit in there, you can always tighten it a little bit, but don't loosen it because then you're going to lose your torque spec. So you can tighten it a little bit, and that'll be fine. And you want to tighten it just enough to get your cotter pin in there and then bend it over. Alright, well, I have the tire on and the truck jacked up. Just wanted to give you a little shake test. I mean, that's just playing my steering, but up and down. Super solid again. Not clunking around anymore, so we can tighten up that camber bolt. And it's not sloppy from the loose ball joints. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the jack, lower the truck, tighten up the CV axle to torque specs, 177 foot-pounds. Alright, I'm almost out of battery, so I got to make this quick. Alright, so that was a success. Kind of a pain in the ass. It was, everything was rusty, of course, 23-year-old truck, so. And it drives nice and straight, nice and solid, doesn't wander anymore. Feels good, feels really good. That Master Pro upper ball joint on the driver's side only lasted me like 6 years, not very many miles. So, I mean, no one's surprised that the quality isn't quite there, but I also beat the crap out of this truck on the old logging roads too. So the extra wear and tear, it's a big truck, it's got a camper on it. I go over these 50-year-old logging roads, and sometimes I forget that pig's not a pre-runner, so I'm just hauling ass, having a good time, because, you know, with that independent front suspension, this truck drives really nice on dirt roads. But anyways, I think I showed you everything. I hope I got it the right angles and everything that you needed. Sometimes it's a little difficult with tripod and camera up in my face. I'm trying to swing the wrenches around, but I didn't knock the camera over nearly as much as I normally do, so I'm happy about that. So all right, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you found it useful. Hope it helped you in some way. And I got to get cleaned up now, put away my tools, and go do something else. All right, you have a good day.